Hi everyone. Hello. Hi everyone. Hello. A very warm welcome from the Coding Invaders team. I am Ananya. I will tell you all a bit about myself a bit later, but first and of all, welcome everyone. Thank you for taking some time out to join us for our webinar on how you can upgrade your career to IT and earn up to and more than 20 LPA in 2023. I see a lot of people who are joining right now, and as we wait for them, give them a couple more minutes to start. I think it's a great time that we get to know each other. Tell me what is your name, where you are from, and how old you are, just so that I get a better understanding of the audience that we have here. The geographics, where you guys are based, what is the basic age, what is the average age going on. So just mention your name, where you are from, and how old are you. You can also mention what background you are currently from, whether you're studying or working. You can say that as well. Hi, Rohan. Hi, Ayush. Hi, Abbas. Hi, Anishka. Good evening, everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi, Shubham. Hi, everyone. I see a lot of people who are from Rachi. Okay, you don't. Then Rohan is there, who is here just out of curiosity, and that's great. Okay, a lot of people are joining in as well, and as we give them a couple more minutes to join in, keep on telling me your name, where you are from, and how old you are, so that I get a better idea of what kind of audience that we have here, and we can talk. I can help you guys understand much more about how you all can shift to IT, make a career in IT, succeed, excel, and land up jobs over 20 LPA in 2023. Okay, I see a lot of people from Hyderabad and Amruta. Just a quick answer to your question. This webinar is going to be of 2 hours, which will include our guest speaker who we have here for the evening. So yes, and with that, and I hope all of you can hear me clear and see me clear. In case if you have some trouble, write it down in the chat box. Someone from my team, from the Coding Invaders team, will help you out. So yes, moving forward. Hi everyone. Once more, my name is Ananya Day. I'm a career guide working with Coding Invaders and a tech enthusiast for sure. And today I will help you all choose your right career path in IT and land your dream job and earn more than 20 LPA in 2023. So just a heads up, we are conducting this particular webinar in support of the IT profession from scratch to employment course that we have in Coding Invaders. It is, by the way, the easiest way to enter IT from scratch. For example, if you have zero knowledge in IT, or you do not belong from IT background, then this is the perfect course that you can take up. And more than that, this is the webinar that will open your eyes, give you so much more knowledge as to how you can make a career in IT. And this particular program that we have, it is IT profession from scratch to employment. Here you can venture into one, like it's one program, but it has 6 different career options that you can venture and then choose what you like. I will tell you about this a bit more in details, but that will be towards the end of this webinar. So stick till then. Do not drop in middle if you want to get to know all the great details. And if you indeed are interested, during the webinar, when we talk about this course and how benefiting it will be for you, if you find it interesting, I'm sure you will. You can quickly click on the link that you can see in the chat box. It will be right on the top of your chat box. You can click on that link and you will get this course for a whooping discounted price. And this is only valid for all the attendees of this webinar and is valid for a limited time period. So if you want to get this or grab this course at a super discounted rate, go ahead and click the link on top of your chat box. So moving forward, to those of you who are new here or those of you who have been attending our webinars, let me tell you a bit about Coding Invaders or what we do here. So at Coding Invaders, our mission, our pride is to transform non-IT people For example, I see a lot of people who are saying, they're from sales background, they're from teaching background, or they're studying right now, and they don't have any idea in IT or experience. That is where we come at. So we take people from who are not from IT background and transform them into an in-demand IT professional with over 5 lakh salary, 7 lakh LPA, 20 lakh LPA. And by the way, just a little secret information, we have had learners in the recent while who have landed even 35 LPA in their jobs, just simply doing a course from Coding Invaders, graduating and getting placed. So yes, we are the number one data and computer sciences online university in the entirety of Eastern Europe and India. We currently have over 22,000 plus students. We have over 100 companies who train their employees with us. We have learners from over the globe. So yes, we have a global presence. It's just not India. And we have a 93% employment rate after the close. So if you're a dedicated student taking our course and you're doing, your classes, your assignments, and you're giving it your all, we can ensure you will go home with a job below or under your bags. So yes, and we also assure that you get at least a 50 to 400% salary hike after successfully completing the course. Now, if you guys want to, get more details about what courses we offer, what this particular, IT from scratch to employment course is all about, and how it can benefit you, go to our chat box on the top. You will find a link, join it, and just click on the link, and somebody from our team, our learning coordinators, will get back to you, and they will share you all the details that you need. And just in a few quick steps, you can get enrolled. And once again, thank you all for joining in for today's webinar, all the people who have just joined right now. And if you want to know what you are going to learn today, are going to learn today that why you should learn the IT market in India or abroad today in 2023, the future of IT market around globally, that how well of a fit for anyone is IT as a career, and also the 6 most in demand professions in IT. And after that, I will surely also let you know that how Coding Invaders will help you step by step guide on how you can ensure to grab a job which will ensure you over a 20 LPA package, and how you can do that. Towards the end, we will also have a chance to question our guest speaker who we have here today. You will also get a certificate of participation, and as I mentioned before, the super duper special offer for our IT profession from scratch to employment course. Want to know more about it? Click on the link on top of the chat box. And finally, absolutely, this is a surprise for all of you and a little goodie thing for all of you, I guess. I believe that if you're investing your time, you should get something in return. So all of you who will be patiently, be there throughout the webinar, you will get a chance to win this course. IT from scratch to employment course of Coding Invaders, absolutely free. We will run a live contest towards the end of this webinar, and I will announce the winner in this webinar itself. So stick towards the end, and you might just be the lucky one to get this course absolutely for free. So yes, I think I've taken up a lot of time, and I will give it to you guys for what you're here, and call upon our speaker for the evening, Mr. Yes, Revanth, can you hear me, Revanth?
Yes, I can hear you, Ananya.
Yes, everyone. So we have Mr. Revanth Murigipudi with us, who is currently working at Atlassian as a software developer engineer too. He is an ex-Autodesk, ex-Pipe, and ex-TCS as well. And we are super thrilled to have Revanth with us here today. He is a powerhouse of knowledge of when it comes to a career in IT, and his career in itself is an example of how one can leverage the benefit that IT industry has to offer. You guys will get a chance to ask your questions to him. And yes, Revanth, we welcome you all. A very thank you from the Coding Invaders team. Revanth, I can't see you. It'll be nice if you can
Yes, I did turn on my
Okay,
camera.
yes,
Is this fine now?
yes, I can see you. I hope all of
Okay.
you can see Revanth and hear him as well. Hi, Revanth. Thank you so much. As I mentioned, this webinar is going to be super interesting and full of information. So, guys, stick to the last. And yes, with that, hi, Revanth. First thing first, tell us a bit about yourself, and then we'll come to everything else.
Okay. Sure. So I am a 2014 to 2018 graduate from a nearby college in a nearby village. So it's not a reputed one, you might say. And I graduated in 2018, and I then joined TCS as a systems engineer. I worked there for 1 year, and then I moved to a startup in Bangalore. And then 6 months later, COVID stuck. So back to home, and then I moved to a company called Outlet. So it's not technically moved, so Autodesk acquired our startup, so we became employees of that company, Autodesk. And I've been with Autodesk for almost 2 years. And then recently I made a switch to Atlassian around 8 months ago in April 2022. And I've been working in Atlassian as an SDE too ever since the past 8 months. So yeah, that's very briefly about me.
Wow, I mean, I will come to this thing that you mentioned right now, that you graduated from a not so famous college or a B school, as we mentioned it, and how it did not quite affect your career. So that is something that I would want to touch base on later on. But to start with, do you think that 2023, we have just begun a new year, 2023? Do you think that this is a good time to enter IT?
It's anytime is good time to enter IT if you ask me. There's no specific time to 2022 or 2023. I know there are recessions going on, but they are up and down. That will happen definitely sometime down the line. But anytime is a good time if you ask me. 2022, 2023. It's absolutely fine to enter IT even now.
Great. So, I mean, now that we know that whether it's monsoon or summer, recession or not, that IT is a industry that is very giving, very forgiving. Anyone who wants to have a career in IT, they can have it, and there is no as such restriction is as to that. But why enter IT? I mean, there are so many other professions. Why IT at the end of the day? I mean, what are the perks of being in IT? If you could just shed some light on that.
Cool. Perks of IT, as everybody is aware of, one thing, you get to work on real world applications, like something that you use in a day to day basis. If you're lucky enough to get into a company or get work on a product that you use on a day to day basis, you get such a good satisfaction, one thing. And then the challenging work. So you get to work on all the latest tech, all the latest whatnot, cutting edge things. If you work in data science or back end or front end, it doesn't matter which domain, you get to work on lots and lots of amazing technology. That's the second thing. And third, as everybody is aware of pay, your compensation in IT, people get paid extremely good. Everybody's aware of that as well. And yeah, I think these three are like your top factors when you can say why do people enter IT. Of course, there are people who enter it out of passion also, but that takes precedence over anything else. So yeah.
Okay, so as you mentioned, there's a lot of perks of joining IT. What would you say are the cons? Because there is two side of every coin. So, what would you say are those?
The number one thing is you would definitely keep on upskilling yourself. It's not like once you enter the industry it's done. No, that's never going to happen. Maybe 2 years down the line or 3 years down the line, the technology that you might work in might become obsolete, or you might get moved to a different product where you need to learn another technology. So it's not stagnant. So if you're a person who doesn't like changes, then it's not for you. That's the major con of IT. But I think that's the best part of IT. You get to learn things very frequently. You need to keep upskilling yourself. That's the major con. And sometimes in some teams, not all teams, in some teams, your work might not be that challenging because there's only so many some a little amount of work that many people can be working on. So it's not like every person in the whole world would be working on something interesting. Somewhere down the line you might find yourself doing something that you might not like also. So you have to be ready to cope up with those situations also. I think that's the third point: sedentary work and complexity. As I already told, it is definitely complex. Software engineering is definitely complex. If you are a person who doesn't like complex challenges, then it would be a con for you. So yeah, I can think of these three at the top of my head.
But as you mentioned, the first point that one needs to be constantly upskilling themselves. If they are not, they are
Right.
basically just sitting and rusting their own knowledge, right? They are going a little
Exactly.
bad because technology, as we know, is developing every second, every minute of the day. But don't you think that
Hmm.
is also like not really a con but a benefit of IT? People gets to learn so much. Like for example, in one single job, a person can acquire 4 to 5 skills, and later on, if they are not happy in their job or they are not, quite getting what they expected, they can quickly switch to some other job and use these particular skills that they learn themselves, right? How does that work?
Absolutely, they can do that as well. Like if in case they're not satisfied with whatever they're doing at that point of time, they can obviously upskill themselves and switch to a new job or switch to a new technology or switch to a new project internally or externally also. That that flexibility you have in software industry.
Right. And in talking about pros, I see that we have listed down this one particular thing that I wanted to talk about. That is the variety of professions. I mean, people
Hmm.
think that, oh God, IT coding, I can't do that. I don't know maths, I don't know science or computers. Can you tell about something? Let's just to educate people on this.
Okay, so in software industry, it's not just coding. Every single domain is not going to code. For example, if I had to list down domains, a variety of domains that are there in IT, one you have software engineering, and even in software engineering you have several fields like you have full stack, back end development, front end development, and then you have DevOps, you have big data, you have cloud, and then you have UI designing, user experience, UX also. Apart from UI, you have UX also, and then you have product management, and then you have quality assurance, you have support. So there's like so many different professions in IT, and not everybody codes. Not everybody codes on a day-to-day basis. There are those many different domains in IT. Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that, I would like to say that people don't quite get a understanding. People think that, once you are in IT, you need to go to US, you need to go to UK. Absolutely, the job opportunity there is more, no matter how much we say. But India is also growing. Like day in, day out, India is also growing in terms of the IT. Even when we see that. The brands or the corporates or the big MNCs from UK, US, UAE places, they are hiring from India. Specifically after the COVID scenario, we see Indians working from India for this foreign corporation. So, what do you think is the current situation of the IT market in India, and what is the direction that is going? Is it a positive, uplifted direction, or is it going down? How's the graph?
Uh, okay. Right now, as you see, it's definitely recession. I will not deny that. It's definitely recession going on. But if you take a look at like 6 months before, people were hiring massively. And maybe 6 months down the line, it might go down and people might start hiring again. So there would be up and downs. The IT market in India is not going to go down drastically. It will have its own up and downs. Right now, it's in a little bit of a downside because of recession. Like everybody is aware of it, but it will definitely keep going up after the months that come through. It will definitely keep going up. So I think we will be in a good spot sometime down the line.
And now that you're mentioning quite a times about recession, and that is a current concern that everybody quite around the world has, that the
Mhm.
companies went on to a hiring spree during the COVID, and then they realized that, oh, okay, this is not happening, so we need to lay off the employees right now. And people are quite scared about it. But do you not think that IT, as compared to other professions, also has much more opportunities open there? Like for example, if one company is laying off 50 people, there are 10 other company who are having at the same time 5 different openings at each of the places, creating more 50 options or more 50 availability of jobs. So it kind of just gets balanced out. Is that true? Or like, I mean, recession is something that is so bad that people should think twice before jumping into IT? What is it?
No, no, I wouldn't say people should. It's that bad where people should reconsider if they are in IT or not. No, I don't think so, because these things happen over and over. Not just in IT, they happen in every industry. I pretty
Right.
much feel like that. So it's not like people should start doubting if they have to join IT or not. No, I wouldn't recommend that. People should join IT if they're definitely interested. They should not be taken aback because of this fear of recession or something. But yeah, that I think that should answer your question, Ananya.
It does. So, after that, let's come to a little bit about, because not everybody gets or has a clear idea about how an IT industry works. And right a bit of while back, we were talking about how many different roles are there. Like people have this notion that IT means coding. it it means hardcore coding, that they have to write programming and all. But I know people who are in there have the knowledge. They know that it's not. There are many creative roles, there are many management roles, there are a lot of different kind of roles. So if you could just tell me, how does IT works, what kind of professions are there in IT, and how are these professions going to help people? For example, somebody who might not like coding, what is the other option? Somebody who is more creative, what is their option? So on and so forth.
Right. Okay. So I'll start with whatever I'm seeing on the screen right now.
Yeah,
You
sure.
have like mobile development. So it's basically people who like to build applications on your mobile. For example, you have an Amazon website. At the same point of time, you have even your Amazon application in your mobile phone. So
Mm-hmm.
people who develop applications suited for mobile phones, they might be Android, they might be Apple, anything, any operating system. They basically come under mobile developers. So front end developer, back end developer, they mostly relate to the web development, umbrella of web development. I'll take the same example, Amazon. So you go to Amazon, whatever that you see on the screen when you go to Amazon, that is definitely developed by somebody called as a front end guy, front end
Yeah.
development. And when you happen to, let's say you go to a product page and you click on buy the product, what happens underneath that after you click on that buy now button, that logic, what happens with the database, how is the logic routed to a web server, all this stuff is probably done by a backend developer. So there's a
Mm-hmm.
clear distinction between that. And data analysts, let's say now you have your purchases that are coming in, you have like hundreds and thousands of products that are being purchased on Amazon. Now how does Amazon track every single thing that is going, like how do they know what are the top products that are being purchased, what are the bottom products that are not being purchased, what is the pricing difference, and etc, etc. That is where your data analysis comes into picture. So they grab all this data, they put in some big data or data science models or whatever it might be, they will have some pipelines. So data analyst, that's like a very umbrella term if you ask me. There are so many
Yeah.
things that come under data analysis, but the main job is they visualize, they interpret, and they make business decisions as a data analyst. And then IT project manager. So what does this person do? In a team of 5 to 10, let's say you have a team of 5 to 10 or even 50 also. I have seen teams having 50 people also.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be somebody who drives decisions, right? So that is the person, project manager. He is the person who talks to stakeholders. He's the person who talks to the developers, the all the other teams, takes decisions and molds them, and presents it back to the development team so that they can understand and they can implement the features. There is also one more profession called product management, which is extremely popular right now. So these people are sort of like IT project managers only, but there's a distinction between them. They define what goes into your product. For example, same Amazon, what happens, what are the features that will go into the Amazon product is sort of defined by these product managers. They talk with the customers, they talk with different stakeholders, users, themselves, and they do a lot of research, market research also, competitor research, and then they come up with something. So there are these product management, project management, all this stuff. QA, uh, your quality assurance engineer, what do they do? You developed something. It has to be tested before you push it to your client or your customer, right? So these people do that testing beforehand. It can be, there are so many testing things involved in QA engineering. It's again an umbrella. You have a manual tester, you have an automation tester, you have a performance tester. There are so many fields inside testing as a QA engineer also. So
Right.
that is going to again take precedence. Sorry. And yeah, you have user experience, and then you user interface designers. So you have networking people, you have DevOps, your SRE, site reliability engineering team. There are all the other professions, but I'm trying to talk about the top 5 to 10 that
Yeah.
that are on the top of my mind.
So, as you mentioned that, like in the list of the top 5 to 10 professions that you're talking about, because if you delve dive in, there are many, many. Like we
Right.
can't even stop. There are many. Like
Right.
one similar work has two different roles as well, right? So,
Mhm.
if you could, talk about when we are talking about creating an IT product. right, in any product, as a matter of fact, when we are, as we're talking about Amazon, right, and we're giving the example of what happens in the front or the back, or once a person puts an order, or once somebody comes onto their landing pages or their web pages or their app
Mhm.
landing page, what happens after. If you could just talk about how in IT people are dealing with product, or what are the different I think when we are talking about a product in IT, that is the best way to talk about the different kind of roles that come into play, because we see the front end, back end on one place, which is core technical. Then we see the UI UX designer, or we see the other design aspect, which is a very creative yet a tech part. Then we see the data analyst or the business analyst, which is more about the data, and then we see the maintenance and everything. So if you could just talk a bit about that as well.
Okay. So basically, what goes into a product? That's what we're gonna talk. Okay, fine. Um, the first step in anything, any software development lifecycle is going to be getting your requirements first. How do you get your requirements? You talk to people. You talk to your customers, stakeholders, like I told in the past, just a slide ago. It might be a project manager or it might be a product manager. So any of these people will basically do the ground research, they'll do the groundwork, they'll set the foundation stone, and they'll gather requirements of what is needed, what exactly are we going to develop as a team. These people do the basic groundwork. And then whatever the requirements that these people have done, sometimes your business analyst or somebody or project manager or product manager, it's like a these three people will keep on rotating and revolving. So it's not like one person is going to do the entire job. These three people will keep on doing things over and over and over and again. So the step two and the step three is going to be done in by these three people most of the times. Your business analyst or your project manager or your product manager, they're going to take authority and they will see what are all the requirements that we have taken so far, which are feasible enough to develop. Like they'll have multiple conversations with the developer team, they'll have multiple conversations with the testing team and the support and most of the other teams in the company, and they'll try to figure out which makes more sense to develop as a product or a feature. And once that is done, once all that groundwork is done, then comes the developing phase. Before developing, people will directly not jump into writing code. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to understand the requirements and they're going to design something. It might be a high level design of how your web servers will look like, what are the databases that you're going to use, and all this stuff. Or and then they'll have multiple discussions, basically the developers, the backend developers, the front end developers, or it might be the SRE team, it can be anybody, or the user experience teams. They'll create mockups, your mockup designs of how
Yeah.
your product should look like, all this stuff. There'll be multiple discussions, and then after everything is finalized, when there is a go ahead, that's when the actual development happens, your coding. It might be your front end, it might be your back end, it might be a mobile application, it might be anything. That is where your actual development happens. Once your development is done, it's not like after 1 year I worked on this and then I'll give it to testing team. No, that won't happen in most of the teams. People, as they keep developing the product, the testing also keeps on happening. It keeps
Yeah.
on developing, it keeps on
Talent.
happening. Exactly, in parallel. Exactly, you're right. So whenever a developing team does a minor release, maybe they work on it for 1 month or 2 months, then the testing team, they keep on testing the features, they keep on raising defects, they keep on sending it back to the devs so that they can fix it. It becomes cycle. So once the entire feature or the entire product, as per the design and as per the requirements, is done, that is when it's going to what do you say, be given to your customer. That's your going live phase, global announcement or going live phase. Once it is gone live, it's not like I'm done, I'm wiping out my hands. No, that's not going to happen. Now your customers or your clients will start using the product. There will be some maintenance efforts required by the developing team or the support team or the QA team. It might be anybody. Most of the times, it's going to be your support team. There is a dedicated support team for these sort of work. In some companies, it's not going to be there. It's the developers only who does the support. So these people, they respond to client requests or customer requests. They take them on and they try to develop if there is a bug or something. And then after everything is done, you start collecting data of how the person is using your feature or your product, because you have developed such a big thing. Now you want to understand if it is being used by them or not. That is where your data collection comes into picture, the last one. Once this data collection happens, there will be many more teams like the sales or the product teams. They will start trying to pitch out to the customers if they are using the product properly or not. They'll try to educate their customers more on the product features. They'll try to drive more sales. A lot of things happens with the business decisions that are taken in the data analysis phase. But in a nutshell, these are your 9 or 10 steps that go in almost any software development life cycle.
Right. And as you mentioned, it's an entire cycle, and like so many stakeholders are there. And each of these stakeholders is an opportunity for somebody to, make a career in, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they're talking about IT. And, after this, I will also quite ask you about each of the in depth, each of the career aspects of them. But before that, I would like to ask you something that, we discussed before you mentioned, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring it up that when you were talking about your own self, you mentioned that you did your graduation not from a very famous or B school or an IIT or some place like that. And
Mm-hmm.
how later on did it affect you? Did it not? Why?
Uh, in the early stages of my career, it did affect me, but right now, I don't think it matters that much because the industry has become extremely matured after the COVID pandemic or during the COVID pandemic. People from not so known colleges also they are getting good jobs at good companies. So your college where you graduated from, it's not that much relevant. Like it is still relevant a little bit, but not entirely relevant like it was like 3 or 4 years back. So yeah, during then I did face some challenges, but now if you ask me, you will face some troubles even if you're from a not so known college, you will face some troubles that is there, but it's not like impossible. It's definitely not impossible right now. It
And
has
what do
become a
you
little bit easier.
and what do you think that were there some steps or were there some measures that you undertook, maybe upscaling yourself or getting yourself more aware about the industry or doing something to kind of compensate for that once you understood that there was this thing that I need to work on? What was the thing that you worked on and that added as a beneficiary factor for you in your career?
Well, I did two things. One, I started learning technologies that I'm not aware of and technologies that the industry is currently looking for. Like you go onto LinkedIn or you go onto any job search platform, you'll see what are all the openings of a particular company. So at that point of time, I understood, okay, these are the technologies that are in demand right now. Maybe if I learn them and try to apply, I have a better chance. That's what I did first.
Absolutely.
And second thing that I did was learn interview specific preparation things like you have
Mhm.
for product companies you have certain things that you need to. There are certain interviews like data structures and low level design, high level design, machine coding. So I started getting better at them and then I started applying to companies. So this is what I did to switch over the past 1 year.
That's great. And this particular thing about interview preparation, we will again come to that later on when I'm speaking with you. But
Mhm.
yes, now as you mentioned, so we get a brief idea that it is not really to have a good career, specifically in India, where there are so many colleges, but very handful of reputed of them, and even the cutoff there is so much that not everybody first thing first can afford to go there, or second thing they have a good chance because the competition is too much, the colleges are limited, the cutoff is very high. So if somebody is not even from a very great background in terms of education, they can have a good score, they can have a high score, but not some institution that has a global or at least a national reputation. How they
Mhm.
can kind of combat that and use it to their benefits, as you mentioned, by upskilling, by learning industry specific skills or the skills or the tools that are currently in demand or people are hiring in. Right. So I think to all the audience who is there, this is a great, kind of a point to mark that I know there are people who are like, okay, I'm not from IIT, I'm not from this college or that college. How will I get into IT? This company won't take me. So yes, guys, there is nothing like that. That where you have started or done your graduation from, it doesn't really matter. If later on in your career, in your life, you kind of educate yourself with the industry specific tools and skills. And with that, before going any forward, I would like to inform all of you that please go ahead in the chat box. There's a link in top of the chat box. Click on that link and put your details. We are having a free giveaway today in this webinar. The winner will be announced in this webinar, during this webinar itself. So go ahead and register yourself for this particular giveaway that we are having, and you will stand a chance to win this IT course for free. It's an IT course from scratch to employment by Coding Invaders. You will get a chance to win it for free. So do not miss out this chance. It's an amazing chance. You are getting a like literally a course worth a lot of money for free right now just because of this webinar. So go ahead and register yourself, and I will announce the winner towards the end. So yes, Revanth, moving on, as you mentioned, there were like a lot of different roles. And today, since this webinar is in support of our IT course, which is IT from scratch to employment, and we have six different kind of career options that we are giving the learners, and they can kind of choose, they kind of see what they want, and then kind of do their specialization in whatever they want. So I would really like you to talk about these careers a bit in depth so that everybody can understand which one is more suited for them.
Right, sure, sure. So I'll go with the ones that are displayed on the screen so that we can keep it in a.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
So your project manager, what does a project manager do? Well, this is a person, this is a single point of contact. If you are developing something new, this is the person who is going to do all the research. He's going to lay the ground step or the foundation. He's going to talk to a lot of people. They might be your clients, they might be your customers, they might be your developers, they might be the sales teams. They will try to understand what is needed to be developed. Is a feature or a product? If yes, what are the features that are going to be in the product? And they'll start drawing a requirements document. What exactly is needed from the developing team, but this will
Right.
not be your final document. There will be multiple iterations. They will keep on changing, they'll keep on changing, they'll keep on changing your project. As the iterations go, your requirements might go up, might go down, that doesn't matter. But the project manager is a person who is going to keep track of all these details, and he's going to make sure that the developing team is going to follow this to the, what do you say, to the core. That's what a project manager does in a nutshell. And he is the one who usually drives the meetings with the stakeholders most of the times. One until up until the phase where it is at a development level. And then your backend developer, let's say once everything is finalized, your designs are finalized, your mockups are finalized, you had requirements properly driven out by the project manager. Now this person, the backend developer, he will start writing. You also have front end developer. We might probably talk about it later. We'll talk about backend developer now. Your backend developer is going to take those designs, whatever the designs are there. When I say designs, they're not your mockups. No, that is done by the front end developer. The back end developer, he does the logic behind those mockups. Like what happens if I click on a button? What happens? There should be a carousel. Okay, fine. What happens if I click on a carousel? What happens if I scroll down? I need to fetch some result from the database or something. They will start configuring your databases. They'll start writing APIs. They'll start writing backend logics. They'll start, what do you say, creating your architecture from the ground up, like from the scratch. I literally mean that. These people are the ones who keep the system alive, the backend systems alive. So this is what a backend person does. Can probably move to the next one if we have.
Yes. Now we're
As I
talking
said,
about content. Yeah.
front end. So you have your mockups. For example, you are developing a new product. Now you need to understand how your product is going to look like. Okay, I'll have a text box over here, text box over here, and then the button over here, and then I'll click off a button, the user will log in, and then I'll start showing them an order page or something like that. It might be whatever it might be. So these mockups, they will be done by some other person, like a UI or a UX person, and that will be, those mockups will be given to these front end developers. Now these people make it reality. Now whatever the mockups are there, they will code it in JavaScript or whatever the language they're comfortable with, or Swift or something like that, in a front end language. And then the front end people and the back end people, they sit together and try to integrate both, so that functionality is end to end working. That is what front end person generally does. He creates and he maintains that front end thing, basically a website or it might be anything. Basically, they do the look and feel. And mobile developers, same, likewise. These people, they create your mobile applications, whatever that is. How the application looks like, what happens on the back end of the mobile, what happens on the back end when they click on a button. All this stuff that are done by the mobile developers. Again, these people also will have mockups. They will be done by UI or the UX people, and these mobile developers are the ones who implement them. It might be on your Android phones, it might be on your Apple devices, your iOS operating system, or anything. It can be your normal I think even in Blueberry also there were mobile developers sometime in the past, like a decade ago. So
Yeah.
yeah, there were so many things that's for mobile developers. And
And
QA.
the last one, yeah.
Now you have your product developed. Let's say you have your feature developed. How are you going
Mm.
to test it? Of course, as a developer, you will do the bare minimum testing, but you will have a QA, a separate team. Most of the companies they do have a separate team, testing team involved, who will test end to end. They will try to break whatever that you have built. They literally try to break what you have built, and they'll try to identify bugs. They'll try to identify defects. They'll try to identify if something is broken, if something is not a good user experience. They'll try to report it to the project manager or the developers, and then the developers again will plan, set, and then try to resolve these defects. That is what a QA person does. Again, in QA there are like so many things. You have a manual tester, you have a performance testing, you have automation testing, lots of things. Again, in automation testing you might have selenium testing, cypress, so many different things in QA also. Whatever the domains that we have talked so far, even in those domains you have subdomains. I'm just trying to be a little bit more comprehensive. And then comes your data analyst, your data scientist, your data engineer. What these people do is, once your product is done, your testing is done, people are using your product, and they are starting to use your product a lot more. They collect insights, they collect metrics of how people are using your product, what are they doing with your product, are they using it properly or not. They try to analyze these patterns, they build some models, they build some pipelines, they try to analyze this, and they determine, they try to find a trend. If there is something, some correlation they might figure out, and then this data might be given to the product manager or the project manager or the developers or the sales teams or the, what do you say, the leadership team, to determine if the project is a hit or it's a flop. If it's a flop, what can they do to improve it? If it's a hit, what can they do to improve it even more? All that stuff, they impact the business decisions in a nutshell of what happens next. So yeah.
Right. Okay, that was a really in-depth, explanation of all the roles that we have here, and thank you for giving an example of how they deal in a real life practical experience. And with this, I would also kind of like to share with you all the audience that we have here. Thank you for joining. And with this, I would like to kind of let you know about our IT course that we have here, which is IT Profession from Scratch to Employment. And by the way, we offer the most up-to-date knowledge in terms of IT and in coding Invaders IT Profession from Scratch to Employment course. The best part is that people don't quite often get the understanding of what is most suitable for them. I think Revanth will agree to it. Like a creative person might end up in a full-fledged front end or a back end developing job, and then that person might be like, okay, my creativity is all gone up here, so now I need to waste 2 years of my life and shift into something else. And then the regret of the 2 years come into play. But that is not what we are doing here in Coding Invaders, in our course, which is IT Profession from Scratch to Employment. This is for everyone, whether you are from engineering, science, or tech background, or you're from totally no connection to IT background at all, some other totally other background as well. You can take up this course and start your journey in career, to create a career in IT. And the best part about this course is that, let me tell you guys, we have six different IT professions that you can venture into for a couple of weeks when the course starts. For the initial couple of weeks and months, you can venture into the six different career options that we have, which is front end development, back end development, data analytics and data science, quality analyst, mobile development, and project management. So these six career options, for the couple of first weeks, you can kind of venture into it. You can see for yourself what you like, what you don't. And after the initial incubation period, and once you understand that, okay, I'm good with coding, I want to get into front end development, or I'm good with designing, I want to get into front end development, or something like that, you can choose your specialization and then master and graduate in that, and it like eventually land up having a job in that particular thing. So I think nowhere in India or in world there is any company or any brand who is giving an opportunity like that, where you get to literally experience working in several profession and then get to choose according, pick and choose according to your liking. So if this sounds interesting to you guys, and you guys are really looking forward to shift your career from non-IT to IT with us coding invaders and land your dream job. Earn more than 20 LPA in 2023 in India and abroad. Then go ahead. My teammates are sharing a link in the chat. The link is also there on top of the chat box. It's a Google Form link. Go ahead and put your details there. It's basic. It's your name, mail ID, I guess, and that will be it. The reason why I'm asking you is because we have a free giveaway running today for this course, and if you're sticking enough long enough towards the end, one person from all of you will be the lucky winner and will get to take this course away with you for free. And yes, so do not waste any time. We are taking the registrations for this giveaway for the next 2 minutes, which starts right now. It's 18:47. We close the registration at 7 sharp, so 3 minutes more. So please do it again. Go ahead. The link is on top of the chat box. Inside the chat as well, put your details, and auto you will be automatically a participation for the giveaway. Yes. Now, moving ahead, as we mentioned about the front end back end developer, so we understood that what you mentioned, Revant, all this while we got a better understanding of what they do on a day-to-day basis, what their work is like and their job is like, what their basic day-to-day thing is like. But what is the career growth? Like, people are interested that I start in something, but then what is my career growth over the period of 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year? Where do I land up? So if you could, one by one tell us what is the career growth one can aspire or expect in terms of these six different career options, and starting with, I guess, front end developer.
Okay. Like when I look at these numbers, I think they are a little bit lesser compared to the industry standard. If you ask me,
Mm-hmm.
I think in some service-based companies you might be getting these numbers, but most of the startups and product-based companies, the number would be pretty maybe twice or thrice of these numbers, whatever I
Indeed.
see. So yeah, these numbers they look good for normal service-based companies, but for product and startup, they'll be definitely twice or thrice. And I don't have any doubt in that. If you say it might be anything, it might be a front-end developer or a back-end developer or a DevOps person. It would be you might probably start around with 6 or 7 LPA in a startup. That's like the industry standard right now. If you
Mm-hmm.
go onto LinkedIn or if you go onto Glassdoor or any website, you will find such numbers only. Even service-based companies, although even now these companies they have hiked their what do you say entry-level salaries. For example, companies they are coming up with their own coding contests. If you clear those coding contests, then your entry level salary is going to be something like 5 lakhs or 7 lakhs or even 9 lakhs. Also, some companies have that as well at an entry level in service based.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, these numbers I think they are justified and not justified at the same time. They are lesser. They are a little bit lesser on at an industry level. They should be definitely higher, is what I feel.
Okay, and moving forward, if we are talking about like, this is a question. The reason why I put this slide is because we get this call quite often. So QA engineer is a quite in demand career, and we have a lot of students who are, that this is what I want to be, this is where I aspire to be, but they don't quite really know the career growth or the career graph that they can get. So if you can talk about that, what are the designation they can expect, what is like by when they can land up in a managerial position or a team lead position. So if you can just talk about that.
Okay, if we talk about the experience, it again differs. Like there's a lot of parameters that will go into if you are going to get promoted or not. For example, you join the industry as a junior,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe 1 year or 2 years down the line, you that junior title will go away. And again, 1 to 2 years down the line, you might become a senior person, and then you might become an architect or a tech lead or something, and then you become a manager or a director. Director, I'm not sure about this director title, but manager, something like that. Maybe it might take you 8 to 10 years to reach that level. But in general, if you want to enter the industry, you will definitely be as a junior one. And then 1 or 2 years down the line, you keep on changing your titles depending upon your performance. It's not like it's guaranteed that you will get a promotion. You need to work hard, you need to put in the effort, and your manager should recognize it. You need to make it visible to the team that you are driving impact, and only then you will get your promotion like you are seeing on the screen right now. It's not going to be a linear or something, it's going to be an up and down again. Sometimes you
Right.
might get promoted at 3 years or 4 years, which is
Mhm.
perfectly normal also. But yeah.
So like we had this one particular learner quite time back. Like it's a story I'd like to share with all of you and as well as you, Revan. And I won't mention the name. So she joined this company with our course and everything as a data analyst. And then within 2 years, so we do have a connection with our learners and everything, right? Our learning coordinators. We tend to get a lot of reviews, and it's a happy connection that we have with them. So we would talk to her, and then she mentioned that within a time period of 2.5 years, she got promoted twice in her company, and kind of whatever increment or the salary hike she got from like after doing the course from coding invaders, after that she also got 100% hike within a framework of or a time frame of 2.5 years. So it totally depends on how well you're working, how well your skills are, and how well you're kind of leveraging also the work that you're doing. And when we're talking about this, okay, before that, let me also ask you that how can somebody working in a IT or corporate firm or somewhere like that in IT uh, kind of deal with the entire promotion scenario, because we see that a lot of people are kind of working, but they don't really quite get the break. They're not getting the promotions or something is not happening. So what are your suggestions or key points as to what one person should do to ensure that they are getting their timely promotions, or they are kind of standing outside the crowd and like really shining through? What do you say?
Okay, that's like a very generic question. I'll try to be somewhat detailed. One thing,
Sure.
the very first thing that you need to do is you should portray that you are driving impact. If you are working on something and if you're not portraying that to the team, it doesn't matter because it's not visible to the team members or the project manager or somebody. If your manager should be pitching you to somebody higher than him, saying, "Hey, this person, I know him, he's doing well, I can promote him." In order for him to tell that, he needs some substantial evidence. So you are the person who is responsible for providing him with that substantial evidence, first thing. And second, have quarterly check-ins with your manager, like or even bi-weekly check-ins. Try
Mm,
to schedule a one-on-one with your manager every 2 weeks. Try to block some of his time, maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Ask them what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, where you can improve upon, how can you help the team more. Try to be proactive rather than being reactive. That's And at that point of time, you set a positive impression in your team, saying that you are not afraid to take on tasks. That's the second thing. And these two, if you do these two well, you are definitely in a good position where you can ask for a promotion, or you are in a good step to be promoted. If not now, maybe in the next year. Sometimes people have quotas, like I can only promote one person or two persons. So there might be sometimes where you'll be disappointed because the other people who are doing well, they might get promoted more than you. It doesn't mean that you're not never going to get promoted. It will happen. Sometimes people have quotas in the team so that not everybody is promoted, only like one or two persons are promoted. Maybe there is a next chance, maybe 6 months down the line or 1 year down the line, you are going to be promoted if you follow these two things, that whatever I've told just now.
right. That makes a lot of sense. And on the same topic, I would like to say that when we are talking about IT, we know how important technical skills are. Well, not all of not all of the career or the all of the professions demand very hardcore 100% technical skills, but we know the importance of having a basic knowledge in technical skills, and in some aspect a lot of knowledge in that. But aside, like keeping the technical aspect aside, how well do you think what is the importance of soft skills? Because I see
Mhm.
people, I see students, I see learners who are very good. They're very good coders, they're very dedicated like students and everything. But when it comes to communicating, when it comes to their soft skills, they really kind of loop in that. So what do you suggest one needs to do to better it, or and what is the importance of that while working in IT?
I definitely think that plays a very important role. Like if come to think about it, your whole interview is based on soft skills only. Like your HR interview and your managerial interview, it's based on soft skills. How well you can represent yourself, how well are you able to answer the questions when you are put on a situation, and that is going to come from your communication and soft skills. So that plays a very major role along with your technical skills. It doesn't matter how good you are if you cannot express. In order to express, you need those communication skills, you need those soft skills. And that's where I think the whole point comes down to your soft skills. If you are going to crack the interview or not crack the interview, crack the promotion or not crack the promotion, no matter how technical you are, your manners and the way you communicate with people, that definitely has an impact.
Great. I would agree to that. And, everybody at Coding Invaders, even our curriculum is designed so specifically for that, we have dedicated mentors who go with the learners on a one-on-one every week and kind of educate them on how to develop their soft skills and everything. And yes, everyone, the audience who is up here, yes, at Coding Invaders, we don't only, teach you industry specific skills and all when it comes to tech, we also make sure that, we are preparing you for interviews. We are giving you the soft skill knowledge. We are making you a full total package to go into the market and crack a job. And I will tell that about more as to what you can expect when you're joining a course at Coding Invaders, and how or what are the ways that we help you a little bit later on. But yes, here's again one reminder, as I mentioned before, that yes, this webinar is in support of our course, which is IT from scratch to employment, where you can venture into six different IT career professions and then pick and choose which one you like and graduate in that, and then end up landing your dream career and earn more than 20 LPA in 2023 in India and abroad as well. So if you are really interested in it, which I think all of you should be, I mean, this is an amazing option. This is not available in the market. And oh, by the way, everyone, we come with a job guarantee program. So it's not that you're going to enroll and then you're not going to get anything in return. But yes, once you enroll for our course, if you're a dedicated learner, if you're doing your courses, if you're attending your classes, you're getting onto your live session, and you're working really hard to complete the course, we ensure you, we work hard for you, and we make sure that you are for sure landing a job in IT, in the career or in the profession that is of your liking. And during this webinar, this particular course, which is IT from scratch to employment, we are giving it off at a 35% whooping discount, and it is only limited for today for the only webinar attendees. So if you are interested, just click on the link that you can see over the chat box on your right hand side of the screen. Click on the link, put your basic details, which will be your name, number, and I think mail ID. And yes, our counselor, our learning coordinators, our student helpers will call you back and share with you all the details, and you can bug them with all your concerns, inquiries. And also, one more reminder, if you want to grab a free course today, this particular course, if you want to grab for free, pay 0 INR. If you want to grab this course for free, then again go to that link, put in your details. We are having a live free giveaway where one person today is going to get this particular course for free. I will be doing a live just a minute. Guys, can you hear me? Revanth, am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay,
think you can.
I think my voice just broke for a minute. Yes, as I was mentioning, that I will be calling on the winner today in this webinar itself. I will be selecting the winner in front of all of you while sharing my screen. So I think this is a chance you would not miss. Revanth, would you miss this chance or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Neither would I. So, guys, just go ahead. The link is available or inside our chat and on top of the right hand side of the chat box as well. On just right on top of the chat box as well. Go put in your details quickly. We are taking these registrations only for the next 2 more minutes. That is till 7:02. Right now it's 7 p.m. We are taking it till 7:02. After that, we will close the registration. So please, guys, if you want to get a free course today, this IT course from scratch to employment, then go ahead and just put in your details in the link that we have given. Okay, so now moving ahead. I think we have already spoken a lot about IT, the courses, the profession, and everything. But we are lucky here to have you today with us, Revanth, who come with a bag full of experience when it comes to IT and having a career in IT. So tell me, how did you choose your career path, or what was your graph like from start to current? Tell me all about it.
Okay. So as I said already, I was a computer science, some CS student, computer science engineering student. I was passionate about computers. I wasn't sure I would become a programmer. I was playing a lot of video games, and that's how I thought, okay, I'll join computer science. I am interested in computers. All other departments, all other domains did not make sense, so I joined computer science engineering. In my first year, I wasn't sure what I was going to become. In my second year, third year, that it became a little bit relevant that okay, I'll become a software engineer. So at the end of my third year, I had an offer from TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, to join as a system engineer once I'm done with my fourth year. So that's how I started my career. And once I joined TCS in Chennai, TCS Chennai, I worked there for almost 9 months and 3 months in Kerala. And then I switched it to, a startup in Bangalore called Pipe. So this is how I transitioned, and what I did, I already told, like how I prepared and all that stuff. I started learning new
Uh-huh.
technology. I started doing some level of interview preparation and all that stuff. That is how I started switching. And then once I was in Pipe, I was in the startup. It was like a very high volatile environment as startups are. I was working on multiple things at once. I was learning a new technology every 3 to 6 months. So that was like a massive learning for me. And then when a company called Autodesk acquired Pipe, again it was a transition from a startup into a MNC sort of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So again a culture shift. Things started becoming slow because when you a startup, things are always high pace. At an MNC, things are a little bit slow. They're process driven. So I started learning these processes. I started learning how to communicate with people in other teams and all that stuff. And then now that I'm working in Atlassian, it's even more process driven right now because it's a very big reputed company,
Mm-hmm.
product based thing. And now it's been like 8 months since I joined Atlassian, and I've learned quite a lot in these 8 months, more than the other 2 to 3 years of my life, I guess.
That's
In
great.
terms of process, not in terms of technology, in terms of processes.
Process, yeah. And when you're talking, like you just mentioned that you have been in startup and then you've shifted to MNCs as well, and it's been a total culture shock, culture difference, culture swap, as we have to talk about it. But coming to the main core point, currently or previously, what were your day-to-day tasks like, or as a engineer, what were you doing? If, like, I'm sure people would like to know what you do on a regular basis.
Got it. So, as the contrary, we don't code like every single second of our lives in our day. So, no, that's not going to happen. There are going to be so many meetings that we attend to discuss how to solve a problem more than writing code. Writing code is like 10% or 20% or 25% of the job that we do. Discussing on how efficiently you're going to write that piece of code to solve the problem or to develop, that is where our entire time, most of our time goes into talking to a lot of people, talking to the managers, talking to all the other team members or the architect or the team lead, and trying to figure out how to come to a solution, to an efficient solution. That is where our time goes in. And writing design documents and all this stuff, we do it most of the times. And then writing code or fixing bugs, that is like the, what do you say, very small thing that we do. Once we have a clear cut path in our mind, only then we start writing code. We don't write code every single second. Like if I work for 8 hours a day, I'm not going to write code every minute. No, maybe I might be writing code 1 hour or 2 hours. The rest of the time would be involved in either me trying to research how to solve a problem or taking help from other teammates or other teams in order to find out the solution to the problem.
Right, and now that we're talking about how your career journey has been, and it's a lot of thing to learn, because the insight is like super cool. But I'm sure that over the period of your own career, there are some things that you've learned. Some lessons learned the hard way, or some lessons learned the easy way, and how would you say that others can use these lessons or tips that you have, and how would you guide somebody, or the audience, the students that we have here, as to how they can choose their profession in IT? Because as we know, there are multiple roles in IT, right? And it might get a little confusing. So how would you guide them?
Right. So one thing is, you know yourself better than anybody. It might be literally anybody in the world. You know yourself better than anybody. So try to look at all the domains that are there and try to visualize yourself. Is this something that I would love doing for the rest of my life? Is this a domain where I can see myself passionate about? If the answer is no, then there's no point in going into that domain. Trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. For example, you want to try front end development. Go try front end development for a week or two. See if you like it. See if that interests you or excites you. If not, try back end development. If that doesn't interest you, try cloud computing. If that doesn't interest you, big data, data science, all this stuff. It might take some time to get to the position where you would start loving. Maybe you might not even have that much time also. At that point, it comes to very quick decisions. If you are fine with going to any domain, then feel free. The choice is yours. Pick your poison. But if you really want to sustain, pick a profession that you are definitely passionate about, because there's nothing more brutal than going into a profession and hating it for the rest of your life. So try everything and then pick one thing out of that. That's what I would say, because you know yourself better than anyone. And look at every domain. Look at the requirement. What exactly is required of you in that domain? See if that goes with what you want to do or not. If that doesn't, move on to a different domain. Try to explore that different domain and see what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, if they translate into the job description or not. All the stuff. Start to analyze each and every single point in you and try to correlate them into the domain and the job description, if that is a good match or not. If that is a good match, you found your poison. That is where you would be probably good, better off working in. So that's what I would say, advice, not say advice to anybody who is trying to get into IT in a domain.
So it's also a lot about, as we see that, while choosing what's best for oneself, it's a lot of self assessment that comes into the play. Asking your own self some hard questions, that what you are capable of, what you can put into your work, or how much you can put into work, what you like or not like, and then finding the best amalgamation of all these pointers. So it's like everyone needs to sit down with their own self and think hard as to where they want to go in terms of a career in IT, or as a matter of fact in any aspect. Okay, so moving before moving forward, here's one thing, guys. We are coming close towards the Q&A session, after which I will be kind of declaring the winner for today's free giveaway session. So before that, there is one more time I will take in the intakes for the registration for the giveaway. So the link is given on the right hand side top of the chat box, and you can just go up, you can just click on the link. It's a Google form link. Put on your basic details, and you will get enrolled for the giveaway. If you don't know what the giveaway is for, it is for the IT course from scratch to employment that we have here for free. So one of you today, one lucky person today, will take home this particular course for free, which others are paying thousands for. You will take this course for free, 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 and free. So this is not a chance. This is not an opportunity you would like to miss. We want everybody to take something home. And yes, someone today, everybody will take a lot of knowledge home from Revanth for sure. But one lucky of you will get a chance to win this particular course, IT from scratch to employment course of Coding Invaders, for free. And for that, you just have to click on the link that is in your chat box right now and put in your basic details. I will wait for 20 seconds right now as you go up ahead and do that. Revanth, we are going to wait for 20 seconds and just allow them to, quickly go and register themselves so that they do not miss anything that we are talking about. So yes, guys, go up ahead. We will wait 20 to 30 seconds right now. The link is given on the right hand side, top of the chat box, and even inside the chats as well. Click on it and just put in your details. Hi Abdul, welcome to the webinar. You are a bit late though, but I'm sure you will be able to cope up. So we are having a giveaway today, where we are giving one lucky winner our IT course from scratch to employment for free. And if you want this particular course for free, which otherwise other people have to pay thousands for, then you just go to the link that you can see on the right hand side on the chat box and put in your details. It's a Google form, and you will be enrolled for the webinar. Towards the end of the webinar, right after the Q&A session with Revanth, I will be choosing one lucky person as the winner in front of all of you. I will be sharing my screen, and it is going to be done live. So it's going to be interesting and excited and fun. So go ahead and do that. 10 seconds more, and then we will continue and go back to Revanth once again. Okay, guys, it's the last call for this. To those of you who have not yet registered, go on the link on the chat box and put on your details as quick as you can. Okay, so now, moving forward, as you're talking about a lot of experiences in your life, and we have you as a speaker today, I would also, like to know that, as you mentioned, your career journey has been a up and down graph, right? And you mentioned that as well. So I mean, what are the qualities? I've already mentioned before that you have upskilled yourself, you have trained yourself into industry specific tools and everything, that you would go up on LinkedIn and everywhere and see what was in trend, and you would educate yourself. Other than this, what are the other personal qualities that you have that has helped you shape your career in terms of your professional aspect? Because every person career has a professional and a personal aspect as well. So in terms of both, what are the qualities that you would say has helped you massively into reaching where you are today in the current time?
Right, that's actually a very nice question. Might have to probably think a little bit on how to answer this. Maybe. I think at the top of my head, I can see one. You should be open to learning new things. I know it sounds very filmy and cheesy, but at the ground level, that's the truth. If you are going to say that no, I know only this, I'm not going to learn this, that's not going to work in software industry. So you need to have a mindset where okay, fine, I know this, I'm ready to learn this also. You need to have such a mindset in order to get good in IT. Not just in IT, I think it's in any domain if you ask me. Second, that's the topmost thing. And the second thing would be to realize that whatever that you know might not be right always. So you need to learn from others. You need to be open to learn from others. I see most of the freshers who enter the industry, they take very fixed opinion, thinking, no, I know this, I'm not going to change it. No, you
Right.
need to be open to criticism, constructive criticism from your seniors or your peers or whatever, whoever it might be. You need to be open to that, and you should embrace it. Try to learn from that is what I would say. Don't have a very strong opinion on things and try to keep it volatile. Like if there is a recommendation, if there is a suggestion that is coming in from somebody else, try to take in, try to understand if that is good or not. If it is good, then definitely follow it. Don't discard it is what I would say. Third, keep on upskilling yourself. If you are a person, just if you are a person who loves to learn new things, who loves to upskill yourself, then I think you're going to succeed no matter what it is, no matter what domain it may be, software engineering, or it might be any domain in your life, you're going to do that. So I think these three are the ones that I can remember at the top of my head right now. So probably I'll stop with these three, I guess.
No, but that's really nice, and I mean, it is really good to know that when it comes to a personal like concept, or how somebody really puts their own self and
Okay.
their career, it really makes sense how they have kind of done their way. And as we are talking about qualities right now, everyone in the audience, everyone who is with us right now, tell us, what qualities your family, friends, and colleagues find in you good and interesting, and answer in the chat box. I will call up a few names and tell that as well. So, yes, everyone, answer in the chat that, what qualities, now that we're talking about qualities, what are the qualities that your friends, families, and colleagues find interesting or good in you? Tell me that, share that with us in the chat box, and I will call out a couple of you guys for that. Okay. So, with that, again, like wrapping up the entire quality that we're talking about, Revan, we are coming back a little towards like to the career courses that we're talking about. If you could talk about that, the qualities that one needs to have for each of the six career options that we just spoke about, if you could just shed a light, because every role is very different from the other. Even though they are IT and tech roles, every role demands something which is very different from other ones. So what are the qualities that you think that each of these role demand, need, and what is the importance of that? And if somebody lacks that quality but still wants to have a career, what can they do?
Well, I think that's a pretty, detailed thing that I see on the screen right now. Pretty detailed information of relating qualities to our domain. That's actually very nice to see. I think most of them are actually true. Honestly, speaking, most of them are actually true. Is what I feel. Whatever that I see on the screen, like a front end person needs to be creative because he develops the look and feel. So he has to be creative, and he has to communicate with the product manager and everything else. So problem solving ability is definitely data science and data. I think whatever that I mentioned, whatever that I see for every domain, I think they are true. They are true to the core. I don't. One thing I would see is communication. It doesn't matter the domain. Your communication and soft skills should be there in every domain. It doesn't matter if you're a front end or a data science or a back end, QA, mobile development, project management. your communication skills should be there. That's a no brainer, surely. And the other skills, whatever is mentioned, they are definitely true. And if you are a person who don't have a skill, I think it's still fine. Nobody is perfect. If you ask me, you can still get on to go on to the domain that you absolutely love, and you can still make it. It might be a little bit hard, but not impossible, if you ask me, without that skill.
Right, right. I think that makes a lot of sense. But there's this one thing that I would like to add now that we are talking about qualities and skills that one needs to, have in terms of growing their career. And we see a lot of skills, if I have to mention, problem solving, attention to details, communication, teamwork, um, research, then conflict management, relationship building, adaptability, time management. Well, Revan, these are not the things that we learn in school or college, do we?
Right? Yeah, right. This we won't learn in college or
Yeah,
school.
our education system, at least in India currently, has not yet reached to that point where uh, skills like this are getting developed in students from a very young age. So somewhere down the line, the bridge between like from school to like from a classroom to a office, it's not there in a very core. It's not there. Do you agree to that?
I would definitely say that, like, our education system, they don't teach at the outset all these skills. We learn this from experience only.
Right, like, but even like before, like for example, if I were to talk about 2 decade back, or at least 1.5 decade back, when people would get into like any job, they would get hired in a job. There would be a 6 month to a 1 year training period where they would be
Right.
just sitting and getting trained. That scenario is not there anymore. Like even when people are seeking for freshers, they want experienced fresher.
Right.
Right. So, what do you think that one needs to do to ensure that they have these skills? Is this where coding invaders comes in? Is this where these kind of courses, which kind of season students or season people into, or transform them into a corporate person helps?
I think they have to be wary of one probable thing. People right now, as you said, they do want experienced freshers. As much as it sounds bad, it is actually truth. So I'll tell the reason why also. Let's say there are 100 people competing, 100 freshers competing for one job. How will the person, the recruiter, know who to decide? They will look at the past experiences. They'll look at the projects that this person has done being a fresher, like being a student. What are all his accomplishments so far? Has he done any relevant experience? Has he done any internships or something like that? So that is still true even now. Unfortunately, or unfortunately also, it's a double-edged sword, if you ask me. If a person is trying to get into that relevant experience, though you're a fresher or an experienced person, that will take a little bit precedence over people who don't have them. It's not that people who don't have it are not at all in the race. No, that's not going to be the that's not going to be the case. These people have a little bit edge over others. So the way they can overcome that edge is by upskilling themselves again. They can learn, they can do what the other person is doing, they can learn from them, and they can look at the job description and try to learn it beforehand, so that they don't have to go into the project and start relearning everything. There is no training involved, etc., etc. So they have to again upskill themselves to the point where they are termed as experienced professionals, and then they become equivalent.
Absolutely. So, yes, I think with that, we are almost towards the end of the webinar place where we are speaking with our guest speaker, Revanth here. We do, like the webinar has not ended. We do have a lot after this as well. But yes, we are to the most exciting part of the webinar, I believe, which is the Q&A session with our speakers. So, I see a lot of you have already, put up a lot of questions in our Q&A place. Okay, so here's a head up. Similar like questions, I will probably combine the questions just so that it is easier for Revanth to answer them. I see a lot of similar kind of questions, so I will pick them up and I will clap them for you, and that's how we will go. And yes, I will take a minute or two to just sort through the kind of shift through the questions. And in the meanwhile, everyone, in the meanwhile, this is the last chance. I just because I have a bit of time in my hand right now, that is why I'm like telling this out right now that if you are still interested in getting this IT course from scratch to employment for free, go ahead. You will see a link on the top of the chat box and even multiple times inside the chat as well, mentioned where just have to click on the Google form link, fill in a bit of your details, your phone number, your mail ID, and just basic details, and you will automatically get registered for a free giveaway that we have here today. One person from all of you is going to get this course, is going to take this course home today for free, and will be able to learn with Coding Invaders, get into a job guarantee program, experience 6 different career options in IT, choose one amongst those and make a career out of it, and end up having a job of 20 plus LPA. So I'm sure like all of you are super interested to make a career in IT, and this is a very very good chance to get it all absolutely for free. So if you're interested, which I'm sure you should be, by the way, go ahead and click on the link that is in the chat box, on top of the chat box, and also inside the chat box as well. Open the Google form link, and you just have to fill in a bit more details, and that's it. So yes, in the meanwhile, I'll be sifting through the questions and I will be sharing them with you, Raven. Okay. Okay, so I will take up the technical questions first, Revant, and then there are a lot of questions which is not technical. It is for you. I will take those questions up a bit later. Okay. Okay, so Vaibhavi is asking that I have read, she has read that IT job is stressful. Is it true?
Uh, okay, I will not deny that definitely. Sometimes some teams will have that stress. For example, if you're meeting your deadlines consistently, you won't face that much stress. If your deadlines are unreasonable, or if you are at a place where you absolutely don't know anything and you are being getting loaded with work over and over, you don't get help, you don't resolve your task, then definitely it is stressful. And in some teams, it's going to be a lot. So that's where that's why people in the industry, they emphasize on the point: speak with the manager before joining a team, speak with the teammates before joining a team, try to understand the environment, try to understand the work, and then take a decision. So stress, I will not say it's not going to be there, because I'll be blatantly lying if I say stress is not going to be there in IT industry. It will be there, but it's not going to be there for every day of your life. It will be there when it should be there, and the other time you will be free, you'll be happy, you can spend time with on your hobbies or your family or your friends. It's going to be there. Even sometimes, even in my job, it's a little bit stressful. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, sometimes it is. It's an up and down graphic. And
Right. That's a great question and a great way to answer it as well. So here we have a question from Sri Lakshmi that, and she wants to know that if non-IT candidates, or like candidates who do not belong from the engineering background or science or computer background, are welcomed in IT field, is there a chance for them?
definitely, I definitely think so, because like, you take the current things. If you are a non-IT person, it doesn't matter. All you need is a boot camp, something like a 6 months or 9 months boot camp, and then you are as good as an what do you say, a computer science graduate. I wouldn't say like you are 100% equal to them, but you at least know the bare minimum where you can start applying to a software engineer job. So it really doesn't matter if you are from a non-IT field or an IT field. At the end of the day, you want to get into IT, and the path is the same for anybody. It's not that IT people are above and non-IT people are below. No, that's not the case. IT people have a little bit of a head start because they know things right from the educational background. But you people, if in case you're a non-IT, you don't have that background, so you need to do some more. Sorry, you need to put some more time and effort into getting to their level and start applying for jobs. So definitely, you are definitely welcome. There's nothing like that. You go on to LinkedIn, you will find so many posts from non-IT people saying they have switched, they're joining a new software engineering company.
Right.
You will see that all the time.
Great. So, here is one question that we often see when we are talking with people during webinar that, okay, so we have this question from Seema Joshi and from someone else as well whose name is not visible. So Seema here has a 6-year working experience in teaching. She took a break of 4 years due to some personal reason and wants to restart her career as a full stack developer. Is it
Right.
possible for her?
I wouldn't say it's impossible. No, it's definitely not impossible, but it will be hard. I will say that. I don't want to sugarcoat. It will be hard, but not impossible. With the right dedication and time, right mentors, and the right coaching, it is definitely possible to get into the industry. The place where it will be hard is to convince the recruiters that, okay, you are from a non-IT background. How can we give you the chance? That is where you might face a little bit difficulty in convincing the recruiters. That's where your skills should take precedence. You should have the proper skill set. You should be, if in case you are trying to do full stack development, like I see full stack development, right? You should have at least a couple of projects in your resume when you reach out to the recruiter. And that point of
Hmm.
time, the recruiter will understand, okay, don't they are not, they are from non-IT field. They have recently done projects, so they know software engineering. And that is how you convince recruiters to give you a chance for an interview at least. After what happens in the interview is completely up to your skills, but getting that interview first is very hard for non-IT people. In order to get that, you need to have a very strong portfolio. When I say portfolio, do projects, reach out to people on LinkedIn, network with them, try to understand what is the requirement and build upon them. That's what I would say to anybody.
Right, and as you mentioned, that this is where your skills come, and initially to begin with, one might face a little bit of trouble with the recruiter or the HR of the company they're trying to apply to. But in Coding Invaders, this is exactly what we do. We give you the initial push. We do the entire hiring process for you. Right. We make sure that you get a job. So how well is a course like this good for someone who just wants to, get started after quite a long career break?
A boot camp, it doesn't matter which course. If in case it's a boot camp or a
Mm.
normal course, it is going to help you because you are going to have mentors, you are going to have normal people, maybe experienced people who are teaching you, who have already accomplished something. So you'll have their experience sitting on top of yours, and they will give you that proper push in order for you to get confident, get more confident in your skill sets and abilities, build that portfolio, take decisions from mentors, learn from them, and then go into the direction where they show you. I think that's like a foolproof way in order to get into any industry, if you ask me.
Right, right. Makes sense. So, yes, Seema, I think you got a very clear answer to that. And Revanth, we have a very funny question here. I mean, I'm sure everybody would crack into laughter. So, this question is from Rajesh. Is there any chance for 2020 batch out students? Because people say us as Corona batch.
Mm, you go on to LinkedIn, maybe, what do you say, 3 months ago or 6 months ago, people who graduated in 2020, they're still migrating. When I say migrate, they're switching jobs, they're getting new jobs, they're switching jobs and getting new jobs. So if
Yeah.
you open LinkedIn, you will see so many such posts. There goes your chance of saying, I'm a 2020 graduate and I am not getting jobs. No, that's not going to be the happen. That's not going to happen. If you have the proper skill sets, if you have a proper resume, if you are reaching out to recruiters properly, if you're applying to jobs properly, if you are giving interviews properly, you will get that job. Nevertheless, if you are a 2022 or a 2021, 2022, 2023 graduate also, it really does not matter. So you will get that.
Right. So I think Rajesh, you got an answer to that as well. That it really does not matter when you got graduated. If you have a dedication to be in this industry and be passionate enough, be open enough to change, as mentioned by Revant, and work hard. I'm sure everybody has a way in this. So we also have a question from Rakesh, that will the big tech giants or MNC hire freshers in data analytics, or are they always looking for more experienced people?
Okay, that's a very tricky question if you ask me, because some companies, when they come to your college or when they put an notice saying they are hiring freshers, some
Hmm.
companies straight out of the box will be hiring data analytics. That's very, very, very few. But some companies, what they do, most of the companies, what they do is they hire freshers, they train them initially on some specific skill sets, and based upon the project, they are moved into some project. And if in case that is a data analytics project or data science project, that is where again some sort of a training happens. This is what the standard industry practices. But if you are experienced, that is where you are going to target into data analytics domain only if you are experienced. But if
Yeah.
you are a fresher, you generally get trained on generic technologies. Depending upon the project that you get or the product that you work on, there you will see that shift. Very few companies try to hire positions like data science and data analytics straight out of college. There are companies, I'm not going to deny that. There are companies and there are positions, but they're extremely few compared to the generic positions.
Right. Great. So, we have a question from Ankush here. So, Ankush has 7 years experience in digital marketing, majorly PPC and Google Ads, paid advertisement, and everything. So, what career path should he choose in IT? In a way, I can benefit from my current. So, like he can benefit or leverage his current experience in digital marketing instead of becoming a new corner in IT.
Okay, since you already are a digital marketer, there are something called user experience research, UX, user experience people, or UX or product managers.
Hmm.
So what you do, I wouldn't say it's like 50% or 100% related to digital marketing. You at least have like 10 to 20% of a foundation with these domains, with these 2 to 3 domains in IT. So as a digital marketer, you might be using Google AdWords, targeting specific AdWords, running ad campaigns or something like that, and trying to drive sales, something like this, right? So that is exactly what people, I wouldn't say exactly, that is part job of these people in IT. A product manager might be doing, try to drive sales, try to target what are the features that are there in the competitor product. They will try to understand, they'll push forward. Product manager is a little bit relevant to that. And what else, a user experience researcher is also a little bit relevant to that. But these are very niche terms. If you ask me, these are very niche domains. People don't hire freshers directly. You might need a little bit, what do you say, course or a degree or a certificate or something like that. So there is that backdrop.
Right. So I hope Ankush you got your answer. You can absolutely benefit from your current experience. You just need to find a way to channelize through that. And so yes, we have a very small quick question here. So Umesh here is 32 years old, and he's asking whether this is a good time to change careers.
I have seen people who are switching into IT at 35 and 40 years old, so I don't see a problem. It will be challenging. I will not deny that. It will be challenging, but it will not be impossible. The challenging part comes when, because you are going to compete with freshers, like 20-year, 25-year people who are entering the IT industry, and that will be a little bit tricky to get the opportunity, something. But with proper networking on LinkedIn, reaching out to the right set of people on LinkedIn, you can definitely make it. I don't see any reason why
Why
it
not?
won't be possible. It will be hard. I will not say it won't be hard. It won't be a cakewalk, but not impossible.
Right. So, here we have a young chap who is here with us, whose name is Akshay. So, Akshay is pursuing his Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical Engineering. He's a fresher who just started in 2023 batch. And he is asking you that what skill or technologies should he learn which helps him get a job in top company with good package in IT?
I wouldn't say learn one skill. Since you are a fresher, you should learn everything that is available to you. C, C++, Java. I'm not going to stop there. Like, try your hands on web development, try your hands on open source, try your hands on Android development or mobile development like iOS, or try your hands on game development, network security, DevOps. Try every single thing that is available to you. Since you are just entering the engineering right now in 2023, you have 3 years to try something. I wouldn't say pick one skill and be satisfied with that. No, don't do that. That's the worst mistake any fresher can do. I did that mistake. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. So try everything and focus on one thing that you love the most. So that you can convert that into your full-time offer or your internship or whatever it might be at the end of your engineering.
Right. And with internship, I get reminded there is also one question from. Okay. I can find the name, but somebody has already asked that he is trying to find internships. He's not able to. What to do?
LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a gold mine, if you ask me. You have LinkedIn, and then you have career portals. For example, any company will have career portals, two career portals in general. One for experienced people, one for students who are trying to get internships. So go take a list of companies that you want to apply. It might be whatever, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft. It really doesn't matter what the company names are. Take a list of all these companies every day before you go to sleep. Go on to these websites, career pages website, check the internships pages. If there are any active internships that translate to your current skill set, if yes, try to apply to them by reaching out to people on LinkedIn. Even on LinkedIn, if you go to the jobs section, you have a job section on the top. So if you are a student, it will start recommending you automatically. It will start recommending you with internships, or you can still search also on LinkedIn for internships. Try to search for them, or try to see posts from companies or recruiters that keep appearing on LinkedIn saying they are hiring freshers for internships or FTE full-time roles. Try to follow them. Try to follow these people. What do you say? These posts or companies that you are interested in applying, and keep an eye on them so that you can ask for referrals at the company for with an employee, or directly. If you are not getting a referral, that is also fine. You can apply through the careers pages. I would say keep track of the careers pages, especially, and LinkedIn posts from recruiters or the companies.
LinkedIn is really a gold right now, for sure. So people should literally leverage it, and it just opens up so many options for everyone. And specifically after COVID, with this work from home and remote job opportunities, I think LinkedIn has been a really help to many. And with that, we come to the next question, which is from Sudarshan. And Sudarshan wants to know that what technologies Revanth, you learned to target product-based company while shifting from TCS.
Okay, so I'm primarily a backend developer, so I sticked with my backend development only. But when I was applying for startup, they wanted full stack person, so I had to learn a little bit of full stack also after migrating to the startup. That is one thing. And when I was in pipe and I was switching to product development, I was a backend developer, and this time I made my mind. I'm not going to become a full stack developer or a front end developer. I wanted to be sure that I wanted to be a backend developer only. So I
Mhm.
applied to only roles that were showing backend developer. I'm a primarily a Java developer, but I know Python also. So I applied to both of the roles where it says Java developer or a Python developer. So I applied to both of the roles with almost all the product-based companies that you see on the market available right now. So
Mhm.
this is what I did. I'm a backend developer with Java and Python knowledge and AWS as well. So I applied to these roles only. That's how I switched product-based companies.
And this is how kind of you leveraged the fact that you had your skills and knowledge in more than one programming language.
Yes, right.
That is kind of worked for you. So yes, we have a question from Sharan here, who is a computer science graduate working as system engineer in Infosys. He wants to know how he can prepare and what topics he needs to be strong to crack Atlassian company. Can you explain it, Revanth?
Okay. If you are targeting, I wouldn't say target Atlassian only. That's the worst mistake any person can do.
Yeah.
Target a set of companies. Target 30 companies, 40 companies, 50 companies. Don't apply to one company and think of it as a dream company. It should
Mm.
never be the chance. You'll get your heart broken. So, for any product based company in general, you need to be good at five things. One, have relevant experience. That's the top most priority. Have relevant experience for that job description. Second, learn data structures and algorithms. Third, have good grasp on high level design and low level design. And finally, machine coding. These four are your interview rounds at most product based companies, not just Atlassian. They are the interview rounds at almost every product based company, even Google, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, Adobe, Twitter. Every product based company is going to probably have these four rounds only twisted. So you need to be having relevant experience and these four data structures algorithms, low level design, high level design, and machine coding. If you are good with these four, you can probably not crack. You can probably crack Atlassian or
Mhm.
whatever your dream company it is. It doesn't matter.
Right, and also we have a question from Aditya, and probably this will be the last or the second last question, because the last question it will be me bugging you, Revan. So we have this question from Aditya, who is saying that he has 1.5 years of experience and working as support engineer. He wants to switch to developer role. Which skill set to master?
Okay, so you are working in support, you want to become a developer role. That's absolutely fine. Everybody does that in support as well. My friends are currently in support and they have switched to software engineering recently. So, one advice I would say again, build projects. If you are in support, number one thing that you are lacking is development experience. So, you need to make sure that you have that development experience. And how do you get that? By building projects on your own. Simple as that. build 1 to 2 good projects. You don't have to build like 100 projects or 10 projects. Build at least 1 or 2 good projects, host them, and put them in your resume and start applying to jobs. And like I said, these four, if you're applying to product based companies, make sure you know these four also: data structures, algorithms, low level design, high level design, and machine coding along with these projects. If you do this properly, you are going to have that job as a developer that you want. And I think it should be the same even for service based companies also, or startups or product based companies. Anything, you should have relevant projects so that you can convince the recruiter saying it doesn't matter that I'm in support. I have built these two projects from scratch from my experience. Though they are not industry grade projects, at least they put you on a bigger foot.
Mhm. Right. So I think with that we are towards the end of our Q&A session. And last but not the least, before we all bid adieu to Revanth, here's his one question that I would like to ask you as a favor to all the audience that we have here, all the students and enthusiasts that we have here. Session like secrets that you have, or some mantra that you have always followed in your career journey in IT that you would like to share with everyone?
Network, I would say, that's like the most important thing in it. If you ask me, network with a lot of people. You don't know when you will need help from someone, when you're applying for a job, or when
Mhm.
you're trying to switch, or when you're trying to get promoted. Network with a lot of people, learn from them constantly. And the second thing would be upskill yourself. Never ever 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 stop upskilling yourself if you are in it. I think it's the same with any other domain also, but in IT it's a little bit more cutthroat if you ask me. So these two, network and never stop learning. I think these are the only they are not actually mantras. People realize that, but they don't follow that. That's all. Be consistent.
Amazing. So yes, with that we end the Q&A session with Revanth. By the way, guys, the webinar is has not ended here. I will answer the remaining of your queries, and we will discuss and talk about the IT course itself right after this. But yes, thank you so much, Revanth. Thank you for taking your valuable time out. I know you're a busy man, so just thank you for taking some time out to kind of share your experience, which is so real, so raw, and probably the story of every Indian boy and girl out there who just wants to have a career in IT. And it's very inspiring as well. So thank you so much, Revanth. I hope all of you who are present here got to learn a lot from him. And I hope, Revanth, this session was also very interesting and exciting for you as well. So looking forward to have you once more with us again. And thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. Bye bye, Revanth.
Thank you, Ananya. Have a great
Thank
day.
you so
Bye.
much.
Good night.
Good night. Okay, guys, I think it was a really good discussion so far with Revant, whom we had here. And I'm sure that it was a very good learning experience to all of you because his story is so inspiring. And yes, so tell me in the comments box, tell me in the chat box how you liked the session with Revant. And, as we go ahead towards the end of this webinar, and which will also mean towards the calling or the deciding of the winner of this giveaway that we have here. So this will be the last chance for you to register for this giveaway. The last chance, I repeat. I will not be giving you any more time from this. So the last chance to enter for this giveaway, a free giveaway of our IT profession from scratch course, just absolutely for zero, absolutely for free. Rahima, you gotta wait because it's a process where I will be selecting the winner. Just a little bit more patience, a couple of minutes for you, and I will be announcing the winner for all of you. I know you guys are getting a little impatient, so go ahead. The link is given in the chat box, on top of the chat box, and inside the chat box you have 20 seconds right now to register for this. And after this there will be no more chance. So if you do not register right now, you will not get a chance to register it for again. And while you do that, I will be moving ahead and talking a bit about how you all with coding invaders can move to IT, and make a career out of it on 20 LPA plus in 2023. So our course, which is IT from scratch to employment, houses six of the most in demand IT careers, IT professions, and you get to, in the first weeks of the course, you get to kind of ponder, you kind of get to venture in all those six professions, and then you will have to pick and choose the one that you like, experience the six, but pick the one that you like the best. And after that, you get to graduate, you get to learn more on that particular one profession, and then end up having a job on that. It is a 8 month course, and we also have a, I would like to mention it once more, we also have a 100% job guarantee program, where it is on us to get you placed. We work really hard to ensure that you are getting placed in a good company with a good salary. And okay, Harish, I will give you the link. It is right on the chat box as well. I think you can see it on top of the chat box inside the chats as well. So, yes, moving ahead without wasting any more time. The first step to choosing an IT profession would be to speak to yourself and to know what you want. The first part is what you like. The second part is to know what you're good at. And the third part is to know what is in trend, what it is in demand. And then find the middle ground of all the three things. So you might be good, like you might be a person who likes to be creative, who likes designing, who likes painting, or who is just into the creative domain. The second thing that can be that you are somebody who is really good in design, and the third thing is that a UI or a UX developer or a career in that is in demand. So the amalgamation of these three, or the middle point of this, would be your career as a UI UX designer, right? Or a front end developer. Either can be. So that is the first step, as to assess what you want and what you need. And in case if you're not able to do that on your own, do not worry. We at Coding Invaders have experienced learning coordinators. You can simply go to our landing page, our website, which is www.codinginvaders.com. You can simply go there, put in your details, and somebody from our team will reach back to you and help you understand and decide as to which is the best career path for you, looking at your likes, your choices, your interest, everything about you, and also what is there in currently in the market in demand. So yes, as I mentioned, what you're good at, what you like, and what are in demand. So the first thing that you have to understand, that how you can choose your IT profession, is that you need to understand that how the IT industry works, right? And then also, since as we mentioned, as we spoke about Revan, that there are multiple professions when we are talking about IT. Even for one similar work, there might be two different people working for that with two different designations. So you need to understand that which particular career option or the profession you want to go. And in our IT from scratch course, we help you understand that by doing very simple projects in all of the six in demands career options or the professions. And once you've done the projects, once you've ventured into the six different profession, then you can choose one which you like and get ahead with it. You have to undergo personality test, where you understand your weakness and strength. We will hype up your strength and work on your weakness along with you. You get assessment from your peer and professional mentors that we have one-on-one mentor session at Coding Invaders. And then also, last but not the least, feedback and recommendation from the career consultant, which is so important, which is going to help you ensure that you are a very seasoned professional when you're starting your career, once you get placed after graduating from the Coding Invaders IT course from scratch. Prathamesh, Pubai, everyone, if you're interested in the course, you can simply click on the link that is above the chat box or inside the chat box as well. Put in your details, and somebody from our team, our learning coordinators, will get back to you. So once you've chosen one particular profession out of the six that you ventured into, now is the time that you master this profession. So we are going to teach you the industry specific. We are not going to waste your time. We value time. So we are only going to teach you the industry specific tools. We are going to give you a lot of skill assessment tests, and we are going to give you a lot of assignments, right? We will help you create a candidate profile for you, and we will also work hard to make sure that you are getting job ready with the live session from industry professionals, one-on-one mentor session, and everything that you need to be ready for your job in IT profession and make the big shit of your life. And after that, so I believe right now when I see in the Q&A session, I see a couple of questions who were asking that, can I do this course alongside my job? Absolutely, you can. Our curriculum and our classes are designed in such a way that, you can work while doing the course, and you do not need to, leave your work or just sit at home just to do this course. No, if you're a working person, you can do this side by side of your office or a 9 to 5 that you have. So after that, you will have to master your chosen profession. And how do we help you master it? We give you professional mentor support, which is a one-on-one session, a personal one, face-on-face session, where you can talk about everything, your concerns and queries, and our mentors are going to help you through that. We also have a support team who will follow up with you your progress bi-weekly. They will understand what challenges you're facing. They will get on a live call with you. If you have queries or something, you can simply tell them and they will help you through them. And last but not the least, the step 3 and the step final, after you've been through this entire dedicated process where we are teaching you a lot, we are training you for the best so that you can get out in the market and hit the right job and just make a career out of it and earn loads of money. The last but not the least is that why we guarantee placement. So we have 100% placement program going on, where you get a job if you are completing your course, and if you're a dedicated student, you will get a job. You literally sign an agreement with us where it's written that if you're if you're completing the course, and if you're dedicated enough, if you're completing your assignments and everything, you are getting the job. So no, it's not like that we are going to take your money, we are going to enroll you in the course, and then nothing's going to happen. No, if you are dedicated enough, if you're finishing your work up, if you're giving your time, working hard, actually getting the knowledge and the skills that we are teaching you, you will get a job with Coding Invaders. And the reason is why, because for you, we are the ones who go up to the HRs. We have a lot of companies, more than 100 companies who are in tie-ups with us, and we go there, we create your kind of CV and portfolio and resume. We go up and we apply on behalf of you to jobs until and unless you get the final one, right? So now that you got a basic and a clear idea of how you can shift, it does not matter whether you're from an IT or a non-IT background, whether you're a teacher or some here, there, anything, you can have a career in IT with us at Coding Invaders. So yes, this is the basic structure of how you can expect your career growth. Like, you can get into IT. 5 to 7 lakhs is too less of an amount. We do have learners who are hitting more than that for sure, as Revanth also mentioned. Then within 1 or 2 years of growth, you can expect at least a 10 to 15 to 20% or a 20 lakh salary. And then within 3 to 5 years, you can expect literally a 35 to 40 lakh salary. And then after that, obviously, the team lead, managerial, director level, the growth is endless, right? And I think with that, you all of you got clear on how we at Coding Invaders do things, and how this course is going to help you shift from IT to, like, literally from non-IT to IT, pardon me. And to those of you who has been asking me still now in the Q&A session that can I get a can I have a career in IT after I had a career break, or I was in teaching, or I'm this so yes, like for example, we have Sharon that he is in BCA student in second year. What are the things that he should do right now? Start developing, start your skills, start educating yourself right after you graduate. Get into a course with Coding Invaders and ensure that you get a job, because in today's world, our education system in India has not been yet able to kind of bridge the gap between classroom to an office room. And this is where we come and we train you with all the necessary skills, and kind of ensure that you are having a career, a good career, a very what should I say, powerful, segregated career in IT, which is, by the way, the most wanted domain in the entire world. The most flourishing IT is the most flourishing domain and industry in the entire world. So yes, this is the last call. If you have not yet, registered for this free course, the link is in the chat box, and also on top of the chat box, go ahead. I will give you 30 seconds and I will share my screen. Here I will do the entire choosing and sorting of the winner right now. So guys, you have 20 seconds more. If you have not already registered, register it once again, and I will be sharing my screen right now. Okay, I think all of you can see my screen right now, and here is the list of all of you who have registered for the giveaway right now. Let me refresh. Let me do a quick refresh to see how many of you are there. So 175 right now. I'll do one more refresh, and now let's check. Yes, it's 175. So, without wasting any further time, I will go up to this website that I kind of use to, select a random number, and that random number would be our winner for the evening. So, as you can see, one winner, 175 number, as I mentioned, and here we go. It's 98. Okay, lovely. 98. So let's see who number 98 is. Okay, I see Ben. Ben, are you there with us right now in the webinar? If yes, then just please, write in the chat box, please. Ben, are you there with us in the webinar right now? Okay, Ben, someone from our team will reach out to you right after this webinar. Congratulations, Ben. You are the winner for today's free giveaway, and I'm so happy that one of you really just won this IT course. And okay, just wait a minute, I need to share the presentation once more. Okay, so yes, congratulations, Ben, for being our today's winner. And yes, I hope all of you had great learning experience with this, webinar that we had with Revan today, and you got to know a lot about how you can have a amazing career from non-IT to IT, and also our course where we, let you experience 6 different most in demand IT profession, and then let you just choose from it. So if you are really interested in this course, I believe you should. If you're looking for a career in IT, specifically to those of you who do not belong from an IT background and are really confused as to which profession in IT you should go forward to, this course, which is IT from scratch to employment, is the perfect, because here you get to kind of experience all different like the 6 most in demand different profession, and then choose the one that you want. And if this is interesting for you, then go ahead and click on the link that you can see on the chat box. We have this particular course just for you at a whooping 35% discount. And so yes, if this was interesting for you, and I see a couple of questions here as well, that do we have to pay the amount at one time? Do we have some installment plan? Yes, we do have an EMI program. We have a very clear EMI program specifically for people who want to pay in installments. There is no fees for opening, there is no interest, it's a no interest EMI option. And it's a very simple thing, it's a very simple, very basic investment that you will be doing towards your career, which is going to pay you loads in returns. And by the way, we have an amazing, I think it's the best part of the webinar, we have an amazing referral program at Coding Invaders, where you get 5,000 rupees bonus for you and your friend, every friend rather, whom you kind of refer to. First, you need to apply for the course and find a friend who also wants to start in IT or start in the course, and grab them. You just have to refer them by filling out a form or just talking with your counselor. So when you go to our website and you apply for a course, one of our student counselor will get in touch with you. If you have a friend whom you want to refer to, you can just inform the counselor that, hey, I have a friend who wants to also join and I want to use the referral program. The counselor will help you through all of it, and both of you will get 5,000 rupees additional discount for any of our courses that you are joining. And this is not it. If you're, in like, if you're referring more friends, like for example, the first friend that you refer, you get 5,000. For the second friend you refer, you get 12,000. For the third friend you refer, you get more. And that is how it goes on and on. So you can just simply visit our website and get all the details from it. And yes, everyone, thank you so much. See you on our IT from scratch to employment course. I hope all of you had a very good learning experience from Revanth, and I hope I was like help to all of you. And thank you for sticking to the end. Thank you for being such patient audience, and I hope to see you all again. Thank you, everyone. I hope you had a great time. If you did, write down in the chat box. I would love to see the some reviews and comments coming from you guys. Feedback is always appreciated. So yes, have a great evening. Keep learning, and thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye. Have a great day.